After years of sitting in development and legal limbo, Nightmare on Elm Street is finally officially returning to the big screen. Yeah bro, arguably the most popular and recognizable horror icon is back. And oh yeah, we've had to totally rewrite and re-edit this video because we're not just getting one movie, we're getting two. Sheesh. So if you want to know everything we currently know about the upcoming return to Elm Street, you've clicked on the video. Come on, we've got you covered. This is First Slash. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. Before we get into what Paramount is cooking up, we need some real talk. Because honestly, it shouldn't have taken this long for another Elm Street movie. Wes Craven's original A Nightmare on Elm Street arrived in 1984 and changed the horror game forever. Robert Englund made Freddy the icon he is and launched a massive franchise. As sequels continued, Freddy slowly shifted from a genuinely disturbing dream killer into a burnt stand-up comedian with a knife glove. And that's probably why in 2010 they were like, yeah, we're gonna need a reboot. Jackie Earle Haley replaced Robert Englund as Freddy, Rooney Mara became the new Nancy, and the filmmakers tried to strip away the comedy and make the character genuinely disturbing again. And to be fair, it did have a couple of sick ideas like the micro-sleeping idea, but overall, well, come on. There's a reason we still talk about the original over this one. Fans rejected it, a sequel never happened, and Freddy disappeared from cinemas for more than 16 years. To be fair, New Line Cinema did try to get something off the ground. In 2015, they hired The Conjuring 2 writer David Leslie Johnson to develop another reboot, but that version never escaped development either. And yeah bro, we cannot talk about Nightmare on Elm Street reboot and remakes without talking copyright law. Yeah man, proper exciting stuff. But stick with me, it's all important to why this new movie is happening. Things got proper complicated after that 2010 remake. Because yeah, apparently the real way to defeat a supernatural child killer is to hand him a licensing agreement and ask him to work out who owns the international distribution rights. Basically, Wes Craven's estate regained the US rights to his original A Nightmare on Elm Street screenplay in 2019, but New Line continued to control the franchise internationally. So Freddy was awkwardly split between two different rights holders. And this sitch was a nightmare, pun intended, to anyone trying to get an Elm Street project off the ground. I mean, Mike Flanagan, the horror mastermind, revealed that he had already developed an entire pitch for a new Elm Street movie, but the ownership situation was so confusing that even his agents couldn't figure out who they were supposed to send it to. Bro, we could have had a Flanagan Freddy movie, that's mad. So yeah, the problem was never a lack of interest. Fans wanted Freddy back, major filmmakers wanted to revive him, and the Craven Estate was actively listening to pitches, but the divided rights kept the franchise stuck in development limbo for years, and that all brings us to today. That's right, we're actually getting a new flipping Elm Street movie. Sheesh. Okay, let's get into what is actually happening with this, because in early July, Paramount Pictures officially closed the deal with the Wes Craven Estate for the US rights to develop a brand new A Nightmare on Elm Street film, with the project set to be one of the first major releases developed through their new genre label, Paramount Primal. And yeah bro, I know how we all feeling about Paramount at the moment. So before everyone starts tweaking, thinking, Paramount owns Freddy. Nah man, the wording here is very specific. They haven't suddenly bought every Elm Street sequel, spin-off and dusty Freddy pitch sitting in someone's attic. They've acquired the US rights to adapt Wes Craven's original screenplay, while New Line still controls the franchise internationally. So yeah, more legal shit. Yeah man, that stuff ain't over, but it does look like they've at least managed to get one of Freddy's claws out of the licensing agreement and back into development. The wording in the announcement is very important, so let's go over that. Deadline is calling the movie a reboot and also confirmed that there isn't a writer attached at the moment. Paramount's own description is a little more mysterious. They're saying the currently untitled film will be set in the world of A Nightmare on Elm Street and based on Wes Craven's original screenplay, which leaves us with a pretty big question over what type of movie this actually is. Is it another adaptation of Nancy Thompson's story? Is it a new set of characters being dropped into Freddy's world? Or are they taking Craven's original and using it as a jumping off point for something completely different? Honestly, we ain't got a clue. I mean, Paramount hasn't called it a direct remake, a legacy sequel, or a continuation of any previous timeline, and there's currently no official title, story, writer, director, or cast, so it's just kind of fan speculation at the moment. What they have said is that the movie is in priority development, which is obviously a really promising sign. But before anyone starts booking tickets and searching YouTube for the trailer, unless you want to check out our Nightmare on Elm Street concept trailer on the channel, of course, this is early days. Basically, Paramount wants to get this thing moving, but Freddy has only just rolled out of bed and nobody has even written down who he's killing yet. But what could sort of indicate where this movie is going and the tone they might want to strike is the announcements of the behind-the-scenes crew. Check this. Paramount Primal is being led by J.D. Lifshitz and Raphael Margules, the producers behind Barbarian, Weapons and Companion. And when you look at that lineup of movies, it's kind of wild that these are the guys now being handed the keys to Elm Street. They've built their reputation around smart, slightly weird genre movies that aren't scared to take a massive creative swing. And honestly, their involvement is probably the detail that gives me the most hope for this whole thing. I know it's a kind of wanky term, but it's all elevated horror. And you know what? I trust these guys. A Nightmare on Elm Street doesn't need some ridiculous £300 million budget, 12 spin-offs, and a post-credit scene setting up the Freddy Krueger cinematic universe. It needs some insane practical effects, disturbing dream sequences, and a filmmaker with a strong enough visual style to make this world feel unpredictable again for current cinema. Paramount has said that Primal will work with both upcoming and established filmmakers on smartly budgeted genre movies, which hopefully means they're searching for somebody with a proper vision for Freddy and are actually willing to let them get a little weird with it. Because the last thing we need is some studio bigwig whose entire fresh take is recreating the bath scene, turning the brightness down, and giving Freddy a slightly dirtier jumper. So putting Freddy in the hands of the producers behind Barbarian and Weapons is easily one of the most exciting details to come out of the announcement. Those films prove that audiences will show up for strange, unpredictable horror when the people behind it are actually allowed to take risks. And after 16 years away from cinemas, that is exactly the kind of comeback this franchise needs. But wait, hold up. We've actually got some breaking news. Literally, as I was finishing this video, reports started dropping that a second Freddy movie is in the works. Warner Brothers and New Line are rumored to be developing their own A Nightmare on Elm Street remake as well. Yeah, bro. After not having Freddy on our screens for years, somehow we might actually be getting two competing Freddy movies. According to the report, Warner Brothers wants to fast-track its own version before its merger with Paramount goes through, and they're reportedly eyeing up Evil Dead Rise director Lee Cronin to write, direct, and produce the film. Honestly, that's a really exciting choice. Evil Dead Rise absolutely slapped, and if they really can get Cronin on board, Warner might have a serious contender on its hands. Now obviously none of this has been officially confirmed by Warner Brothers just yet, so take it with a pinch of salt. But if these reports are true, Freddy might be at the center of one of the maddest studio battles horror has ever seen. Now honestly, this whole situation is just a bit of a mess, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of funny watching two massive studios potentially fighting over Freddy Krueger of all people. And look, as horror fans, in theory we win, right? We could end up with two completely different takes on A Nightmare on Elm Street. But if we're being realistic, I seriously doubt we're actually going to get two movies. This just feels like a massive power play to me. Paramount announces their movie, Warner Brothers goes, oh yeah, well we're making one too. I mean, who knows how this all plays out? The one-amount merger could completely change everything. It might not happen, one project could get canned. Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. And bro, don't even get me started on the legal side of this. Who owns what? Who keeps which rights? What happens if both movies actually get made? It sounds like an absolute nightmare, and not the kind we're looking for here. Because at the end of the day, of course I want a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but I don't want to see two rushed Freddy films dropping within a couple of months of each other because two studios are trying to beat each other to the finish line. Honestly, I'd rather have 0 than 2 shit ones. Bro, just give us one genuinely great comeback. whether it's a faithful reimagining of Wes Craven's original or a completely fresh take that still captures what made A Nightmare on Elm Street so iconic. Okay, with all the official details and news covered, I want to take a moment to talk about the question every fan will be debating. Who the hell is actually going to play Freddy Krueger? Obviously, Robert Englund made the role his own across the original movies, before Jackie Earle Haley took over for the 2010 remake, but neither actor is currently attached to Paramount's new film. And look, as much as we'd all love to see Englund pull the glove back on, he's been pretty honest about the fact that the physical side of playing Freddy is probably just too much for him now. I mean, we're talking hours in heavy prosthetics, stunt work and repeating takes over and over again. So unless Paramount finds a really clever way to bring him back for a smaller appearance, I think we should probably prepare ourselves for a completely new Freddy. Whoever takes that job has got a mad challenge ahead of them, because Freddy isn't like Michael Myers or Jason, where you can swap the actor under the mask and most casual viewers probably won't even notice. Robert Englund's voice, his movement, the facial expressions, and that completely unhinged delivery are all part of the character. So the next actor has to make Freddy their own without looking like they're doing an impression at a horror convention after 3 pints. Englund has said he'd still be interested in voicing Freddy for an animated project. Honestly bro, I'd take that. Would be a nice way to have him still involved in the franchise overall. There were rumours and comments before about Jim Carrey being a favourite for the role, but I don't know about that one, man. Don't you think it would be a Jim Carrey movie more than a Freddy Krueger movie if that happened? I think you want an actor that will be unrecognisable. You could probably make a case for Bill Skarsgård. He loses himself in every role he plays. If he got the Krueger gig, that would be him cemented as the undisputed horror GOAT. I still feel like my top choice has got to be casting an unknown in the role, someone that can really make Freddy theirs. I don't really think a movie like this needs a big star attached. It's already so well known that it's going to sell tickets. But that's just me. I'm sure this will be a big debate. So you tell me, who would you cast as Freddy? Drop that down below. Okay, horror freaks. That's everything we currently know about Freddy Krueger's long-awaited return to the big screen. And whilst this movie is obviously still super early in development, I'm not gonna lie, the fact Wes Craven's family are directly involved and the producers behind Barbarian and Weapons are helping bring the project to life has got me hyped, I can't lie. But come on, I want to hear from you. What do you actually want from a new A Nightmare on Elm Street movie? Would you rather see a completely fresh story with a new group of victims, another take on Nancy Thompson?
Drop a comment below, tell me your absolute dream casting for Freddy, and if you're new here, smash that sub button and join the horror fam.
I'm Shane for Oddly, keep it creepy. Yada the mean?